I've been staring at the stars, waiting, patient, arms, legs, and mind racing. The loudest in the room with many silent thoughts. What's my purpose? I keep asking and get no response.
So, we're on my podcast. I am Adam Cruz, and this is
Marvs Productions.
And
this is my studio.
Yeah. So I'm here to talk to you about my project. Last
What is it
one.
called? What's the project called?
Oh, last one out the womb.
I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
I think I get it too.
What was the inspiration?
So basically, my mom,
Your mom
she's
left.
pregnant. Yeah, and she left trying to leave me, but I'm like in you, like, can't leave me, So it's a funny story.
That's great. Welcome to the Soul Tapes podcast. My name is kidding.
My partner looks a little different.
Yeah. We're in a different setup today,
In a parallel universe.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny.
Man, my name is Adam Cruz.
And I am Marvs Productions.
This is the guy who makes me sound good. And today we are going to be talking about the Role Modelz EP breakdown. We're going to be going through each song, giving a little backstory, and it's going to be dope. So with that being said, let's jump right into track number 1, Ego. Ooh.
I am not a role model. Role model. Role model.
Firstborn, oh Lord.
I'm not paid to be a role model. Role model.
Born broke, that's why we always needed hope. Life is real, never took it for a joke. Southgate to Long Beach to West Coast. Coming down on my street, dab 'em up and let's go.
So, we just heard that little snippet of Ego. And on today's episode, we're going to break down the first song of To Catch a Predator. So, when you did Ego, the production on this one is definitely by far the most different thing that you've done, or at least that I've heard.
Yeah.
It's Adam Cruz.
Yeah. It was.
And I want to know why, I guess. Why was this one different? Yeah.
I mean, honestly, man, I might have to give you more credit on that than myself. But, for me, a lot of times production is something I'm always trying to challenge myself on because I usually tend to lean towards beats that are like more familiar or comfortable for me. Mm-hmm. So the whole idea of this song was just like this idea of ego and kind of exploring that, the fact that even as someone who's trying to be a role model and what that kind of all entails, dealing with their own ego.
Yeah.
So I actually kind of was going for more of like a Kanye type vibe, and I was thinking more of like St. Pablo type Kanye, like bouncy, fun, like this, energy. But when we started working on it, it was literally like baseline. It was this whole, vibe that was nowhere near what I was actually expecting. So it was funny because I was like, oh snap, this is different. But one of the things that my goal for this project was to actually do like beats that were not the norm.
I actually do remember that.
Yeah, right.
I remember that. I actually remember that. You were telling me kind of what you wanted, and I remember that word bounce. I want bounce. I want bounce. I want bounce. I remember that a lot. And in my head, I'm like, cool, bounce. I got you. Like, this is gonna be this groovy bass line with like this kick.
Yeah.
And then you were like, yeah, but I want bounce. And I'm like, it's not bounce. Like, I'm over here like, I think we got different definitions of bounce. Yeah. I remember that now.
Yeah.
That's funny.
Yeah, but so that's the funny part is that this beat, and it wasn't that I didn't like it. It was kind of battling with, what I heard in my head originally to what you were kind of hearing from me.
Yeah.
So in the moment, I was like, yo, this sounds fire. So let me kind of just run with it. And, you know, at the time when we made this song, it was actually probably one of the last songs we made. So we already had a lot of like energy and a lot of, you know,
that too, yeah.
You know, songs that kind of gave that, you know, fun stuff. So it was funny that in hindsight, I was like, I think we actually need this for the project. Something that was different, something that had the sound and production kind of just brought you in. But it was nothing. It was like nothing else that we had created before.
Mm-hmm. Definitely one of those hooks where it's like, oh, we got you, now listen to the rest.
Yeah.
That doesn't sound like this.
Yeah. Yeah, totally. So that's why it was interesting, because I was like, man, and it's funny, when I had finished writing the song, immediately I was already like, this is the intro. Because it's set up, to me, it set it up perfectly. What I was looking to kind of get across was, you know, even when I found the clips of like, you know, the Charles Barkley clips of him, you know, the Nike commercial talking about, you know, I'm not a role model. And that's literally, to me, was the whole idea, was like, we get that a lot in hip hop culture and just culture in general, you know, pop culture, of like all these people who have fame and status and popularity, but they don't want to have the title of role model.
It's a lot of pressure, honestly.
Yeah, that's what they feel. So to me, the whole, like, my whole premise of my brand with Firstborn and trying to instill this idea of recreating the image of a role model, and the fact that we all can have the ability to make impact in people's lives, but that doesn't mean we have to be perfect.
Yeah, I feel like that's what people don't understand.
Yeah.
Just, we're human.
Yeah.
We're gonna make mistakes.
Yeah, and I think that's what we do, is we put people on pedestals and say, oh, they're better than us, or they're this and that. And it's like, for me, it's like, that's why I can wear a shirt that says role model on it. And it's like, sometimes I do question, like, damn, like, I need to kind of, you know, act right, because what if someone sees them like, oh, you're a role model? Like, no, yeah, I am. I can be a role model, but that doesn't mean that my life is going to be perfect. Mm-hmm. And that's why...
Go ahead, sorry.
No, I was just saying, that's why I felt like the song was great, because I was actually coming face to face with my own ego in this song. Mm-hmm. Was actually saying, like, yo, like, the reality is, as humble as you might want to try to come off, you live your life in a way where sometimes when you're praying and you're talking to God and you're having these moments, who are you praying for? A lot of times it's for myself. Mm-hmm. A lot of times it's, I'm walking out every day and the only person I'm concerned with is me.
That's true.
And that's why, to me, that's what this song was kind of coming to terms with that. And it was funny, because when you listen to the hook, it's like the verses kind of bring you into that, but then the hook is like this carefree vibe, this moment of, you know, all right, we chilling, we driving, we're just having a good time. And that was intentional, because I think that what we do in life is we have these moments where we just kind of want to ignore the fact that we're kind of like ignoring our own issues, ignoring the things that we struggle with. But the reality is that they're still there. Mm-hmm. And so, you know, that's what I was trying to bring in with this song. And even in the beginning, talking about, you know, Southgate's Long Beach, like bringing up my upbringing, bringing up where I came from, bringing up, you know, growing up in Southgate, but then, you know, spending a lot of my high school, college years in Long Beach, and kind of what that brought to me, even with this music, to me is like a very West Coast sounding beat, like having that, you know, that vibe. So
a little G-funk in it.
Yeah, exactly. Which is what I was trying to bring, because I'm like, yo, that's me. Like, I'm not you know, I'm not from the South. I'm not from the East Coast. I'm a West Coast artist, you know? So I was like, I need my music to represent who I am. So I feel like this song really brought in a lot of that. And you helped me do that.
Oh, well, thanks. Nah, I don't think I could have made a song like that without you, though.
Really?
Yeah, I feel like I just need an inspiration or somebody to tell me, like, I need this. Because that's something that, like, I only got, Charles Goops. Yeah. The only other person that's going to be like, I need something like this. Yeah. And I'll be like, okay. Yeah. So, like, other than that, like, I won't make it. At least I don't think I would make it on my own, so.
Yeah, which is what I've learned, like, with our relationship is me trying to, and we'll talk about this more later too, but like not waiting on like your ideas only, but bringing in my own like ideas and thoughts, and taking a risk on those ideas, even if what we make ends up being trash, like, but just taking a chance and seeing what it comes out to be.
Risk it.
You know, because that's something that I always struggle with, like, with making music is like, dang, like, I know I'm not an expert, I know I'm not like this and that, but I have this idea and let's just see what comes out of it, you know? So that's what's been really cool with this project. I feel like we did that a lot and we kind of came up with a lot of really good ideas.
All through quarantine and all through different experiences, some through FaceTime.
Yeah.
Some right here. Some were already actually made.
Yep.
So.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's Ego.
Ego.
Now, what about track number 2? Firstborn, oh Lord.
Yo, Marvs, let's get it.
22 reasons, look at my life, see how I'm breathing. Hearing my thoughts, chill in my house, see how it begins. I'm going so hard till I get weak, turn up on weekends. Feeling so blessed, don't stop me, I'm peaking. Yeah, ain't got no kids, I gotta live. I gotta show them that I can commit. I gotta show it, it's gotta be lit. I go for gold and no less than the win. Same with the games, nah, I ain't playing. No, no, look at my life and I know you relate. Looking for change, I can show you the way, yeah. Ooh. Changes,
yes.
Dude, it's funny, this song was actually the first song that I had written for this project. I remember it was actually in February of 2020. It was, I think I remember just, I think we were actually in the studio originally when I had gotten this beat from you. And I remember the only thing I had you change was like the claps or something. There was like a snare. It was just a snare, I think, or something like that.
I think you're the one that's not a fan of claps.
Yeah, I'm not.
Yeah.
So I think you probably had a clap in there instead of
that snare.
Yeah. And I was like, change that and we good.
That sounds like you.
Yeah, and it did make a huge difference because I really like this beat. But it's funny because I was at a point when I wrote this song where I had asked you, like, basically, I need something, like, I wanted something with energy. I wanted something that was, like, this fun hip-hop song because, like, I was in a season where I had dropped a bunch of songs that I felt were good, but they were also very kind of like serious and like inspirational and fun, like that kind of vibe. And I was like, I feel like what's missing in my like discography of music was sometimes you just want to hear a dope, fun, like energetic hip hop beat. And I love this beat because it's not high energy. It's like just at that point where it's like you could kind of be in a place of just wanting to hear a good song.
Yeah. And
this fits that.
Yeah, this one to me is a little on the like unorthodox side because it's like I come approaching most beats as a drummer because I'm a drummer since I was a little girl, and the pattern on this one isn't like straight like, how do you say, like the kicks are supposed to be on the downbeat and it's the one, but it's like it doesn't come in on that. I don't know. I'm really horrible at explaining. Point is, I find this beat to be aggressive, high energy, but slow. Yeah. And the drums are like, I feel like not like what you would expect, in other words.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I really like it. And then I love how you came with this like you didn't approach it the way I feel like most rappers would, where they would be rapping fast.
Yeah.
And then it's just like, it's a slow beat, so you expect somebody to be fast because you got so much bass.
Yeah.
And like, the beat's kind of open, I guess, is how you would say.
Yeah.
So, I'm just glad you didn't do that, and that you stuck to like, you know, let me keep it like catchy where people will still be like entertained. Yeah. And you still have their attention with that, and you did these little, or I had you do these whisper ad-libs that I'm just like, it just added this like whole texture that I was like in love with, honestly.
Yeah, and it's funny because this beat did challenge me in that way of delivery. That was one of the first things when I was listening to this beat was like, I remember it was after like my last show of 2020, going to a camp, driving down the mountains, whatever. And I just kept playing this beat over and over again. And all I kept thinking in my head was, let me just find a flow. Let me find, like, how can I get on this where it's just, because I want, I like to tell stories with my music, and one thing, again, like kind of going through the project, wanting to tell my story. So literally with the first couple bars, it was like, 22 reasons, look at my life, see how I'm breathing. But one of the first bars I came up with, I literally remember, because I was just like, man, I want to get something that's catchy. And it was that second verse of the, oh Lord, you just heard the boy, I've been so annoyed, trying to change how I'm living, but I never had a choice. So it was like, I felt like I had, like you said, it's so open that you had the freedom to kind of go in that direction. So when I had thought of that, I was like, yo, like this song kind of could go into that direction of kind of being in this place of where you're in this place of life is changing. And who would have thought all the craziness that happened after that of 2020 and quarantine and shutting down? It was crazy, but I really was happy with that delivery as well, just kind of like being able to do that. But it's funny because the whole idea of the song was really me kind of coming to a place of the change that I was looking for in myself was kind of tired of being so like passive and patient with myself. Like, yeah, I'm frustrated that maybe like, I haven't, the things that I'm looking for as far as like achievements and accolades with music or whatever business aren't necessarily there yet. But I was kind of putting it on myself and saying, I need to be so like ready to move. So that's why the hook is like, look at my watch, like, done being patient. Like, it's all these things of I need to kind of keep moving forward.
Yeah.
So that was kind of like the idea was like, like, stop putting yourself in this place where you're, okay with not being where you want to go and start working harder, faster, and get things done.
Yeah, especially with just being an independent artist, like, all the pressure's on you.
Yeah.
If you stop, the whole Adam Cruz movement stops. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah, I definitely feel you, though, man. Obviously on that same boat. Like, if it's not me pushing, then who else is going to push me? So, like,
yeah,
like, I get it, man.
Yeah, and that's where I felt like it was my story, but I feel like it's the idea of going through life, frustrated changes, even with the video, like I think we covered that really well. Being able to show like, like sometimes you have those sleepless nights where you're just like, dang, like you're just thinking, going like, what do I need to do? What do I need to go? Like, let's work. So
next move.
That's changes. So, track 3.
Yeah.
Like Me. Let's go. Firstborn, oh Lord.
Yo, Marvs, let's get it.